Thanks a lot to be there with us. Today we're going to talk about higher education on Campus France Live and to discover a new school, NEOMA Business School, a business school, one of the top business schools in France. And we're going to talk more specifically about the Master of Science of NEOMA Business School. You can ask all the questions that you have on the different chat sections. The team of NEOMA Business School will be there to answer all of your questions. And I'm very pleased today to welcome Fernando Gambias. Hello.
Hi, how are you, Guillaume?
Very good, and you? You're the Recruitment and Promotion Director. Thanks a lot to be there with us. And we're also with Amin. Hello, Amin.
Hello.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. MSc International Finance student, more specifically in the financial markets and risk management track. You're going to talk about all of that in a few seconds. First of all, maybe can you introduce yourself in a few words? Let's begin with you, Fernando.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So my name is, as you said, Fernando Liambias. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Promotion of the school, of NEOMA Business School. I've been working in the school for the last 8 years, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot. And you, I mean, can you tell us a few words where you're from and what you did before joining NEOMA Business School?
Hello everyone, my name is Amin Ilyas. I'm one of the international students currently studying with NEOMA, and I'm from Indonesia, and I'm currently doing MSc Financial Risk and Financial Market and Risk. And prior to joining NEOMA, I finished my bachelor degree in both engineering and economics.
Okay, and you're going to explain in a few seconds why you decided to join NEOMA Business School. But before that, Fernando, can you tell us a few words about NEOMA, its history, and what we can study there?
Yeah, of course. Well, NEOMA is a business school. It's been around for the last 150 years. It's based in 3 campuses in 3 cities in France, Rouen, Reims, and Paris. The biggest 2 campuses are Rouen and Reims. It holds the triple accreditation and every single international business school should have. That makes it part of the top 1% of these business schools. And we are happy to host students from all around the world. 25 of our student population are international. We have almost 200 faculty members and almost 400 academic partners for our students to take advantage of.
So a lot of people studying or teaching or researching at NEOMA Business School. To know more and to discover the school, we're going to watch a little video. We will be back just after that. We have just seen some little extract from the student life, and we're going to talk about the student life at NEOMA Business School in a few minutes. But before that, Fernando, can you tell us the different programs that you offer at NEOMA?
Yeah, of course. NEOMA Business School has a comprehensive portfolio. So we offer undergraduate programs and then master's programs, and of course the PhD. In terms of the master's programs, we can find the Master in Management or the Masters of Science, which is the ones we're going to discuss today.
Maybe can you introduce a little bit the Master of Science? What are the different programs? How does it work? What is it concretely, a Master of Science at NEOMA Business School?
Yeah, with pleasure. So the Master of Science, it's a 15 months program with 8 months of courses and 6 months of professional experience. It can also be done in 2 years, depending on your profile. So we split the portfolio of Masters of Science in 4 categories. So we have the one Master of Science in International Finance. It's one category, which is the one Amin is taking today. A Master of Science in Marketing. Then we have those in Management and Strategy, and last but not least, expertise sector. Each one of them, we have like different options. The Master in International Finance offers corporate finance and banking investment, financial markets and technologies, or wealth management. Then if we go to marketing, we can find like data and digital marketing, international brand management, or luxury marketing. And then if we go into the marketing and management and strategy category, we can find supply chain, business analytics, global management, international luxury management. So many programs, and many of them attract a lot of international students. And of course, I don't want to forget the cultural and creative industries program, or the wine and gastronomy program, that also are part of the expertise sector.
The idea is to have a concrete specialization to be ready for the market.
Well, these programs they grant the Grade Master degree, which means that it's the highest recognition that a master program can have here in France. So it combines good research, good theoretical content with hands-on teaching and learning process. So that's how you get a specialization in our school and in the different sectors that I just mentioned, of course. But the idea is that you get that instruction in 8 months, and then just right away you go to the companies and you work with them in an internship.
I mean, can you tell us why you decided to choose NEOMA Business School? What interested you in this school?
So to be more specific, I'm a double degree student, so I'm coming from one university partner or NEOMA, and among the reasons why I choose NEOMA is for the ranking, of course, and then the program that offered to me was the one I was looking for, and the fact that I can be granted with some scholarships from NEOMA, so that's my top reasons for joining NEOMA.
And how are the full-time Master of Science program structure? You were talking about a 15-month experience. How does it work?
Yeah, exactly. So the students, when they join the 1-year program, in the end it's 15 months because they start with the 8 months period of courses in the 3 campuses. It could be Rouen, Reims, or Paris, and they complete the experience with 6 months of professional experience. So it could be depending on when they start that internship, whether it's in May, in June, or July. Well, you can end up finishing your period of learning in October, November, or December. Yeah, you get your degree by December, January each year.
And in terms of languages, in which language is it possible to study in the MSc?
Good question. These programs are all fully taught in English, so they are quite an option for international students who maybe they do not speak that well French, or even if they do and they would like to have an experience in learning in English. Well, that's what we can offer.
In terms of pedagogy, what is the balance between practical and theoretical courses? How does it work concretely?
Well, we're pretty happy to say that we have a pretty good balance. As I said, we have theory and practice, pretty hands-on education, meaning that you will learn theory but then put into practice on the afternoon, maybe through company visits. Maybe the people working in the companies that are coming to the classes and teaching our students from a very practical and industry focused point of view.
Maybe, I mean, you can describe a little bit the different classes that you had the opportunity to follow. Can you maybe get into the details of what you are doing in your MSc, more focused on finance?
Sure. So in general, for teaching experience, we have three different types of classes. First is the offline classes where we have face-to-face sessions with professors. Second is what we call online distance learning. And this is still a face-to-face but done online. The last one is asynchronous sessions. Usually during asynchronous sessions, a professor will give us with some assignments or reading assignments and also projects.
If I may add to that,
Yeah.
that's important point. From this year on, in September 2022, the school put into place what we call the new pedagogy, which is a way to innovate through injecting technology into the classroom, into the learning experience. And it's basically what Amin was describing in terms of, okay, we do online learning, but it's at the same time with the professor or on your own time. And for that, we develop new tools to do that. Since the pandemic, we have developed these tools. We have done this in test and learn method, and now we're pretty happy to be implemented in all our courses.
And
Sorry about that.
From all the different classes that you had, I mean, what is your favorite class and why?
Okay, so of course, because I'm now doing financial markets and risk and technology, so especially those classes that are related to technologies, financial markets and risk are my most favorite ones, because this really give me real, not just the knowledge, but also experience with the projects, because I'm into, for example, coding, programmings, but they put those coding programs in the context of financial markets. This is what I like the program the most. And of course, in addition to this core competence that they teach us, we also have experience with like more general classes like leaderships and also C-suite simulations that also give some kind of different experience, because for example in C-suite simulations the class is just going on for 1 week without a professor teaching us, but it's more like a project, mini project. Everyone's put in small groups and we just work on our own during the whole week, and that really simulates what's going on in the industry, I believe.
How is the professional world included in the program? How do you work concretely to offer maybe having a teacher from the professional world? Or how does it work?
Yeah, that's a good point there. We try to bring the corporate world into our school, into our classes. It's either through agreements within the programs, such as, for example, I don't know, entrepreneurship and innovation. We have a very nice agreement with the KPMG, like a historical one, and they come and they pitch and they coach our students and how they should do their startups and how they should promote them in order to get finance. Other ways is through the certifications. We also partner up with international bodies that will grant certifications, international level certifications to our students, so that they not only get the teaching experience and the content that our professors, researchers, and people from the professional world offer to our students, but also the certifications such as, I don't know, I can mention, we're in the finance sector, so I can mention the CFA accreditation, which is financial analysis, or FRM, financial risk management certification, or the RICS for the wealth management, and so on and so forth. I don't wanna bore you with all this.
No, but it's interesting to see that it's open, the pedagogy, it's open, and that you can have very important. I know a lot of people working in the finance, and yeah, they need a lot of certification to work on the different markets and stuff like that, and you offer them. So that's a key point for the people watching us today and wanting to join maybe NEOMA Business School. And if they want to join NEOMA Business School, there is an important step. It's all the admission process. First of all, what background do you require to apply to NEOMA?
Well, as you have seen, our portfolio is quite wide. So maybe for finance programs, we would require some economics or financial or engineering background. But those for marketing are more open to other humanities or social sciences programs. Same with those about global management or entrepreneurship. The idea is that you are passionate about your academic and professional project, and that project is coherent with the content and what we can offer you within our programs. The idea is that you also win with us, and you grow, right?
Once you're sure that there is a coherence between the candidate and the program, what are the different steps? Is there an online interview? What kind of papers do they have to fill? How does it work concretely?
Of course, yeah. Well, everything is online, which means that we have a specific portal for our candidates to apply, and they need to provide the typical documents that will allow us to assess them academically and also in their language skills, which means academic transcripts, degrees if they have them. Could be bachelor's, could be master's, depending on what's their stage in their academic path. It could be also the English skills scores such as IELTS or TOEFL or you name it. We have so many. You should also submit a couple of recommendation letters. That's important for us. To know about you, not only from you, but also from people that actually work with you, taught you, or was your boss maybe. And then you will have to answer a few questions in our application file. All that in English, of course. Everything should be done in English. A CV, it could help to give us some proof of your professional experience if you have any. And then you just submit, and the second stage would be, and after we check that everything is in line with our entry requirements, well, you will be summoned to have an interview online as well, and then a couple of weeks later you get an answer from us.
It's interesting, the interview part, because sometimes it's the most stressful part for the students. I mean, how did it go for you, the interview process? What kind of question did you have? Did you have the feeling that it was tricky questions, or was it more to discover and to talk with you? How was it for you, the interview part?
So, well, actually, it was pretty generic questions that was asked to me, and so I believe any student should not find it difficult, the interview sessions. Of course, I must say there are also some technical questions, just to see, maybe they asked you these questions just to see your readiness level for the program you are applying to. But overall, it was a doable interview, so shouldn't be worried about that.
But did you prepare for the interview? Did you look really precisely on the website to really be sure of what you were going to do at NEOMA Business School? There was a preparation for all of that?
Yes, small preparations, I say it's there because I need to read first the programs, especially the program I was going to apply, and just to get myself exposed to the courses, the terminology, so at least to cover that technical parts during the interview.
It's important, Fernando, to have students who know why they're in front of you and why they're applying to. It's something, the basic stuff, but sometimes it's missing.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's something that we always try to discuss with our candidates before they go into the interview, and when we exchange with them about their passion and their academic project. The idea is to understand what they want and show them what we have, and that could be a good match for them. And yeah, motivation and knowing where you're going and why you're going and where you're coming to France and to NEOMA. That's really, really important, of course.
In terms of calendar, is it still possible to apply?
Yeah, if you're interested in applying for October 2023, because that's our intake for the Masters of Science programs, it is possible. We run rolling basis applications, so you can apply until the end of June to get, let's say, an interview by the first days of July. So everything goes smoothly in terms of visa, if you any chance you need a student visa, right?
Because once admitted, there is this really important step. It's all the procedure, the visa procedure, the administrative steps. And it's true that sometimes it can be a little bit or a lot of stress for the candidates with a lot of paper to fill. How do you help them with the different steps to come to France regarding the visa procedure, regarding the administration, but the accommodation part, how do you help them with all of that?
Yeah, of course. Well, we're pretty proud about the services that we provide to the students. We're proud because we have the Bienvenue en France label, like the 3 red stars. That's something we cherish. That's because we have very good services for our students, our candidates, future students. We have this service called the Hub, and they help them with housing options, with the visa procedure, appointments with the consulate, maybe reacting to questions from Campus France in different countries or from the consulate. The idea is that the procedure goes smoothly and that we are there for them, even though the student visa procedure is a personal matter. We try to be there with them to support them in any way we can. Of course, once they are here, we can also help them with opening bank accounts and all that. That's part of the whole package, let's say, the service that is provided by NEOMA.
I mean, did you have some fears before joining France? Was it a little bit stressful? And how did it go for you, all these administrative procedures?
Yeah, I must say yes, especially with the paperwork. But again, thanks to the hub, they really help us a lot with the preparations. If I may underline the two most challenging aspects with him was first the acceptance letter, number one, of course. So after that comes the accommodations. So, and this is really, I want to thank the hub people for their help, because I know finding accommodation is not difficult, it's not easy, and sometimes I was granted with the cruise housing. So again, thanks to NEOMA. So with the cruise housing, it is less administrative process, because technically, for example, I don't need garant, etc., etc. So yeah, once again, thanks for the preparations.
And in which campus are you living now?
I'm living in and studying in Ruang campus, and my apartment is just 5 minutes walking from the campus. So again, it's a perfect place to study.
And how would you describe your student life at the Rouen campus? Do you take part in a lot of events? As you're a student in Master of Science, maybe you have more works than the undergraduate, so less time to make all the events. How is it for you?
Yes. So first and foremost, I must say this is an MSc program. So MSc requires, a lot of concentration and focus. So I'm ready for that, because this is how MSc going in all over the world. So that's number one. Number two, the fact that I'm living in the building very close to the campus. So this helps me a lot with the preparations, engagement with the course. My original plan was to have some student job at the beginning, but given that many student jobs are regular, and with MSc program, the program is also quite demanding in terms of timetable. So I switched my plan to more of, let's say, online jobs. So this is maybe can be your options in case you are considering to have some students job with less regular timing. And of course, I joined some communities during around the campus, like sports. And this kind of communities do help me a lot. For example, Je parle un peu français. So this really helped me a lot with my French lessons. Of course, NEOMA provides me with French classes, but really to practice the language is, this is the real community we need. So yeah, I think overall, as a city, Ruang, Mont Saint-Aignan is a perfect place for students to study.
And it's important, Fernando, to create this atmosphere of a good place to work, but a good place to live, a good place to study, a good place to have fun. Sometimes it's what is really important at the NEOMA Business School.
Yeah, the idea is that each kind of student, they get what they want, right? So we, on top of the courses, the classes, and the internships, we also have, luckily, 97 student associations that are specialized in different hobbies or passions or activities. It could be more finance, it could be video and photo shooting, it could be, I don't know, ecological matters, like you name it, dance, theater, of course. So students that are sports, as Amin said. So students that are looking for that kind of experience, they can also find it in the campus, not just in Rouen, also in Reims and in Paris. And we have around like 2,400 students committed into these kind of activities in the three campuses, which is, that also explains a little bit about the life of a student in our campuses.
We're now going to talk about the professional world, because it's interesting to have a good student life, but what matters the most is what happened after graduating. First of all, is it possible to do an internship during an MSc?
Yeah, that's the whole idea is that you finish your studies with an internship. And for that, we provide also services. We have the Talent and Career service that helps our students in obtaining different internship options or job options through different ways. Whether it could be company forums in our campuses or online, it could be one-on-one appointments with career counselors. So the idea is that we help them fine-tune their search for an internship, and that's exactly the idea of these kind of programs. You specialize and then you applied what you have learned at the end of the program by working.
Did you already have the opportunity to do an internship at NEOMA, or is it coming in a few weeks or months? How is it for you?
It's coming. I'm still looking for the best opportunity at the moment, but I completely agree what is mentioned before, that we, if I may break it down, the preparations for internship come in terms of CV checking, in terms of job dating, in terms of one-on-one interview, and I must say, really, there are a lot of job opportunities offered, and we are given that information. So at the end of the day, I think it's depends on the students whether to want to grasp this opportunity or not, because really, if in terms of information, there are more than enough information for students to grab the internship opportunity.
And Fernando, after graduating, what are the different opportunities? In which kind of job can we find NEOMA graduates?
Yeah, of course. Well, it depends on what you have studied and what you would like to work on, right? Typically, if you are studying finance, you would like to do or to be like a asset manager or a financial analyst. If you are going more into marketing, you would be brand manager, luxury marketing manager, that kind of jobs. Then if you are going to, I don't know, entrepreneurship or innovation, it could be maybe why not your own startup. It could be also becoming the innovation driver of a company, helping change the culture of the company. If you are more into it, I don't know, sales manager, if you have done international business development, or retail manager if you have done luxury marketing or luxury management, for example.
So a lot of opportunities in different fields. What would be your perfect job after graduating? How are you projecting yourself in the professional world?
Interesting question. So for me, it's going to be always bank, financial institutions, or bank or non-banking. But currently, I'm looking for opportunity with risk department in a bank, or audit, or investment banking, or wealth management, basically, because these are the opportunities that are related to what I'm currently doing in NEOMA.
So big careers for you. And when we say big careers, it means big salaries. What are the different salaries that we can have after NEOMA?
Well, it also depends on what you have studied. Let's say that it's a range between 40,000 to 50,000 annually. I'm talking about euros. That's just right when you come out of the school. That can go up to 70,000 2 or 3 years after. If you are doing finance, and if on top of that you have obtained the accreditations, that first salary could be even better. It also depends on the kind of deal you get and the employer that you can also get, right?
We're now reaching the end of this live session, but before leaving you, we're going to maybe give a last advice for the students watching us and who plan to come to France to study at NEOMA. Let's begin with you. I mean, what would be your last advice for the students watching us today?
Okay, so number one, to of course know your courses in details, what they are teaching you, and maybe if you need some preparations prior to coming here, please do. Maybe not in terms of courses, just get yourself to get exposed with what they are going to teach you. So that's number one. Number two, of course, the language. If you can, even if you are international student, but you can speak some little French, that's going to be really helpful later, also with the internship and also with the job opportunities. And number three, maybe to stay in touch always with the hub, especially in NEOMA, because they will really very fast response with your questions, and during that administrative process, really you will need their backup for some information. So stay in touch with them. And in the case of for me, like double degree students, so you need to also make it sure which part is going on with your current university, in which part you need to fully done with NEOMA, for example. So those about housekeeping, I think must be also part of your consideration. And other than that, really you should enjoy your student life, don't forget that, because it is about balance at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's all.
And you, Fernando, what would be your last advice for the students watching us and maybe wanting to join NEOMA for the next October? It will be in October.
Yeah. Well, what I always say to students is that we understand that doing a master's program in abroad, let's say outside your country, is a huge project, and that will have an impact in your life, in the way it's gonna be steered afterwards. So I would say that you take your time to really consider what you want to study, where, and what are the reasons. Those are very good advice from Amin. I would say that financing is very important. Looking for financing options is very important, but also what you're going to do after. So, and it's in line with what Amin was saying. Try to choose the course that is a perfect match for you, but also for your future.
Take your time and think about your future. That will be your last advice. Thanks a lot, Amin and Fernando, for having me with us today. Thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions about the Master of Science programs of NEOMA Business School, or if you want maybe to begin to apply, you can visit the website of NEOMA. See you soon on Campus France Live.